What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Goddess, and welcome back to episode 6 of The Hard Breach. We actually just got done watching NA Pro League, play day 11, I believe, so we are going to jump right into NA Pro League since it's fresh on our minds. We're actually going to recap a little bit, and we're going to go back to Monday for the play day 10, and we're going to talk about that. The first game was Tempo Storm and E United. Now, I don't think that game had too much significance. Both teams are in like the bottom 4. There's no way they're catching up to any of the other teams that are in the top 4 because the gap is just too large, and we're going to talk about that later. But Tempo Storm 7-3 to E United, SSG 7-5 Dark Zero, and Skies had 18 kills and lost. Now that's a heartbreaker. The third game was LG versus EG. LG won 7-3, and I guess EG's just falling off a little bit. And then Reciprocity and TSM. This game kind of confused me a little bit. I don't know if you guys remember, but TSM let Border through. And why TSM let Border through, I have no idea. Border is TSM's, it's their most banned map. And clearly a team like Reciprocity, a team that has experience on Border, I don't think that's necessarily, especially with Reciprocity's playstyle, I don't think that's necessarily the right map to take them to. Especially since they got 7-3'd. I don't know. For me, it didn't really make sense. Like, you even saw Merc typing in the game chat, what map is this? Like, we haven't played this for so long. What are we doing here? And it's just like, what the are you doing there? But we're gonna jump ahead to today, as in Wednesday, and we're gonna talk about the games that happened today. The first game was SSG versus E United. SSG won 7-5, and I think that game, I honestly think it should have been a tie. SSG kind of scraped by and came out with a win. Alfama actually did extremely well in this game, and I don't know, it was kind of just surprising. I'm pretty sure SSG, after the first half of the map, SSG was down 2-4, but I mean, Coastline is also very, very, very extremely attacker-sided. You don't even have to bring a hard breach on that map, and it is still extremely attacker-sided, and SSG came back and won almost every single attacking round. That's tough. Second map was Dark Zero versus EG. That was also 7-5, and went the full round count. The third game was Reciprocity versus LG. Reciprocity won 7-2 on Clubhouse. I don't think, LG has a history of playing Club, but I don't think Clubhouse is really a team you want to take rec to. But, well, okay, I take that back. I don't think Clubhouse is a map you want to take Vert to. Vert had 19 kills with a 2.49 rating. Now that is insane. Seeing players with a 2.0 rating or barely over a 2-point rating is that in itself is rare enough. But having a 2.49, 19 kills, who the fuck was peaking Vert? And then the last game was, I would say it was kind of not interesting. It was TSM versus Tempo, and they went to Cafe, and TSM 7-0'd Tempo Storm. That game just hurt to watch. It hurt to watch. Tempo Storm, it kind of looks like they're lost. At least it looked like they were lost in that map. I don't know. Everybody on TSM had over a 1.0 rating. Bolo and Pojo had 100% cost. Pojo went, I'm pretty sure he went 2-4, and he had 2 bomb plants. No, he had 4 bomb plants, but he has 100% cost. He got his bomb plants. When your fraggers are actually fragging out, when you're the full support, do you actually need to do anything other than hold F and sit on cams and give your fraggers the intel they need to frag out? Pojo did his job, and he did it very well. Good job, Pojo. The next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the standings for this split so far. So we're just going to go through the rankings. I'm going to tell you the team and the points. You have TSM in first with 28 points, SSG in second with 23 points, Reciprocity in third with 20, Dark Zero in fourth with 20. I'm assuming Reciprocity is the tiebreaker on that. Luminosity is in 5th with 9. United is in 6th with 9. Tempo Storm is in 7th with 8 points, and Evil Geniuses are in 8th with 6th. Like after 4th place, like it goes from 20 points to 9 points. Like that gap is ridiculous. None of those bottom teams are going to make it up into the top 4 just by with how ridiculous that gap is. No, they're not going to make it. I think it's kind of interesting to point out that Dark Zero was in 2nd at the start of the split, and now they're in 4th. SSG's on a bit of a heater. Dark Zero's they're kind of trailing off a little bit. I don't know if the new roster changes are necessarily I want to say that they are for the better, because Eclipse and Skies, they are both amazing players, but I don't know. It's not it seems like from watching that something is just not clicking with Dark Zero right now, and I guess that's maybe why they're switching up some of their roles a little bit. But SSG coming off of winning Invite, they're on a bit of an up. They're up and coming through the standings. They are 5 points behind TSM. Are they actually going to make it to first? I don't know. Can they hold on to their 2nd place spot? I hope so. I'm a big SSG fan. I actually do think at the end of the split that TSM will be in first and SSG will be in 2nd. If you guys have any other ideas of who's possibly going to be in that 2nd place spot, let me know down below. But I don't think anybody's going to be knocking TSM out of that 1st place spot. The next thing that we are going to talk about, more Rainbow Six Siege, and the possible changes that Rainbow Six tweeted out that they are going to be making to the TS. Some of the changes they announced were the Buck skeleton key is getting buffed, but Buck is also losing his grenades. Jaeger is going to a 2 armor, 2 speed. Mozzie is losing his super shorty. Ying is getting a buff. She's getting her smokes, and she's getting another Candela. The TCSG, the shotgun, that crazy ass shotgun, where if you get in a gunfight with that, you're either coming out with 1 HP or you ain't winning. That is getting I guess that's getting nerfed. And then I guess they're supposed to be fixing the barricade rubber banding, where the door is not actually opening on your screen, but then it's open on other people's screens, and then you just have people walking through closed doorways. But we're gonna talk about the changes a little bit. How do I feel about Buck? I think they're changing Buck in the wrong ways. I don't think Buck should lose his grenades. I actually think Buck's skeleton key should get nerfed. I don't think it should be buffed. I think they should maybe take away a mag of a skeleton key at most. I don't know. I personally felt like Buck was in a really good spot. Maybe it was a little OP because he can open every section of the floor, but I don't think he should lose his grenades. I don't think that's necessarily the right direction to go, especially with all of the utility that defenders have. But the next thing is Jaeger going to a 2 armor, 2 speed. I don't think that's really going to fix the problem of Jaeger being extremely, reliable in almost every aspect. I think it's hard to say that Jaeger should lose an ADS or the ADSs should do like that. It's hard to say how Jaeger should be nerfed and how he should be buffed and blah blah blah. But I personally don't really have a problem with Jaeger going to a 2-speed, 2 armor. He still has an amazing gun. He still has his ADSs. He still has his barb and his bulletproof. If anything, Jaeger going to a 2-2, he might be a little bit slower, but he's also going to be a little bit tankier. He's going to eat up more bullets. I don't really see a problem with it. I think Jaeger would be fine as a 2-2. It might stop the cocaine cracked out kids and ranked from losing their minds on Jaeger half the time. But a lot of people said that when Ash lost her ACOG, and I don't think that was really. The next one is removing Mozzie's super shorty. That one I do not agree with at all. I don't think Mozzie should lose his super shorty. I don't even know how that one even popped up in Ubisoft's mind. If you want to nerf Mozzie, you either take away his C4 or you take away a pest. Taking away the shotgun, what is that gonna do? You're just gonna have somebody else go open I don't know. I don't think the shotgun was a problem. I think it was the pest and the intel that he could the intel that he could deny or the intel that he could provide. I think that was more of maybe why they think Mozzie's overpowered right now, but I don't think it's a shotgun. And the next thing that I'm very strongly in disagreement with is Ying getting buffed. I do not want to go back to the Ying meta. I don't want that. I don't want to have to sit there with my screen being full flashed for fucking 45 seconds to a minute, because she can clear all of her own ADSs. She can smoke. She can Ying through. She can basically. I don't want to go back to that. That gives me PTSD. Nope. Like, well, I mean, like a wise person once said to me, if you close your eyes, IRL, when the Yin Candelas are going off, you're not actually getting flashed. Close your eyes. The next one was the TCSG getting nerfed. I actually agree with that. I think it does too much damage. That shotgun is insane. Like shooting a slug, that's one thing. But you shouldn't, like, I shouldn't be one shot downed by a shotgun from like a long, like from like a distance. For me, that's just, especially since it has an ACOG, and especially since Goyo has it. Like, I'm okay with the TCSG getting nerfed. How extremely they're gonna nerf it, though, I don't really know. And then I think it's about time that the rubber banding through the barricades finally gets fixed. I mean, that's just, I still don't know how that becomes. But another thing that has to do with all of these little like changes that Ubisoft is making was a little article that got put out that Ubisoft said, and there was a certain spot in that article that I guess a lot of people kind of like grabbed onto, and they took it to heart, and Ubisoft, I guess, is messing. I wouldn't say like messing up. Well, they're kind of messing up. But the article basically said that if the professional players are not happy with our proposed features, then to me that means we are going in the right direction. So a lot of the pro players took it as, oh, so a lot of, like, every time that we went out to like the works, or like the play test, when they went out to the play test, they test the new ops. They tell the devs their opinions, what's overpowered, what's underpowered, what could use a nerf, what could use a buff, what they're doing wrong, what they're doing right. They basically took it as, oh, every single time that we told you guys, no, don't do this or do this, Ubisoft does the exact opposite. I don't know, like this, I don't know if he necessarily like worded it wrong, but with the way that it is coming off, it does make this, it makes the players seem like their opinion is not valid. Because at the end of the day, your players, your professional players, your casual, like your professional players, your people that play Pro League, the people that play Challenger League, the people that get paid to play this game, they are probably like your biggest consumers, right? They are the consumers that spend the most time on this game. They put in the hours, they put in the time, they put in the effort, and they want this game to succeed. They're not going to sit there and tell you things that they don't like simply because, oh, they don't want it. A lot of the times they're going to sit there and they're going to give you the input from a professional standpoint because this is their job. And they're going to tell you, oh, hey, this is game breaking. Do not do this. And like the first thing that pops up in my mind with game breaking was when Lion was released. I can tell you from all of the, from a lot of the people that I talked to, when they said that they actually they tested it, they were like, yeah, we tested Lion, and they told us that they weren't going to release Lion in the way he was. And that's exactly what they did. They released Lion with the way he was in the playtest, even though a lot of the players told them not to and that they were breaking the game. And what do you know? It was, what was it, a half a season later? They had to put Lion in quarantine, kind of like we all are now. But they had to put Lion in quarantine because, oh my god, he was game breaking. Who would have known? But I don't know. I'm hoping Ubisoft kind of pulls their head out of the clouds and they kind of realize, hey, that wasn't necessarily the right step to go in. I understand wanting to change the game to so that you always keep people on their toes, people don't get comfortable, people the game's always switching up and people always have to adapt and they always have to adjust. But there's a certain line that you don't want to cross, and I think Ubisoft is about to cross it. Anyways, that has been episode 6 of the Hard Breach. Just like I said last week, I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys aren't losing your minds in this quarantine. You guys are having fun, and I hope this video provided a little bit of entertainment to the people that are maybe possibly losing. But like always, I'm your host, Goddess, and you've just been breached.